I did here was peel and cut up 5 pounds of potatoes. They are easier to peel before you wash them, but if you're gonna do that, you need to make sure that you wash them afterwards. And my goal here was to get them to be all sort of the same width. So you can see that I cut these down this fat side, but these were sort of shaped differently. So I cut them so that you got 2 larger pieces. These I didn't cut at all. So what I'm gonna do here is sort of look for my smallest one, and that's probably this. Cut that into 4, and then that will be the goal, the size of piece that I'm going for. All my potatoes are roughly the same shape. Doesn't really matter how big or small you want them, just as long as they're all roughly the same, so they cook roughly the same at roughly the same time. I'm gonna just cover them with some water. I just want a little bit over the top, and I want this all to be the same temperature. The idea is that by the time it starts boiling, my potatoes should be almost done. If you put the potatoes into boiling water, the outsides of the potatoes are going to cook before the insides, and they're going to get a little bit gummy. These potatoes finished about 10 minutes after they started boiling, and you can tell that they're done because a knife will go all the way into them. I've set up 2 receptacles here, one for reserving some water from the potatoes and another for draining the rest of them. That potato water has a lot of starch that's going to help me thicken the mashed potatoes, and also if I need any extra liquid, that's what should go in. Here for 5 pounds of potatoes, I have a half a cup of olive oil and a stick of butter, which is also half a cup. If you want to do only a pound of potatoes, you could probably get away with a 1/4 cup, maybe a little less, 60 milliliters of the fat of your choice. This is what I need to make 5 pounds good. I like this bistro pan for a couple reasons. It has high enough walls and a wide surface, and it's metal. It's not non-stick, so I'm not going to scratch it up with my potato masher, and I can see sort of everything that I'm doing. We're going to set that on medium to melt, and I want an entire bulb of garlic for what I'm doing. And when I have to smash up a bunch of garlic, that one held together a little more than they usually do, but we can stick them under there again. And now they're all smashed and ready to be peeled. With these, I just sort of want a rough chop. I don't really care about getting them too small. They're going to be in there for a little while. One way and one the other way. That's enough for me. The other thing I'm going to chop is about 2 tablespoons of some fresh rosemary. If you're using dried, use half as much. And we're just going to rough chop that as well. I love rosemary with potatoes. If you like thyme, use thyme. Sage is another really good one. Butter and olive oil are melted together. You want to do this over a medium heat because neither one of these fats likes a high heat. So get this nice and medium. Then we're going to put this garlic in. When you see the garlic starting to get brown, I'm going to add my rosemary in here. That's going to pop a little bit because it has a lot of water in it. And I'm just going to wait until I can smell the rosemary, and then I'm going to put the potatoes in. I'm going to spread these potatoes out kind of evenly and just leave it for a minute. I really want to get that potato sear on the bottom because it's going to add a lot of flavor to the rest of my mashed potatoes. When you start to get some color on the bottom of those potatoes, it's time to smash, but I'm only going to loosely smash. I want everything to stay roughly in the same place as it was, because we're going to continue to deepen that flavor. Once it's been about the same amount of time that I had between putting my potatoes in and doing my soft smash, I'm going to go for a hard smash. These potatoes have had a lot of time to develop their flavor now on the bottom. Now I want to get that flavor into the rest of these mashed potatoes. This is the point where we can see how much liquid we actually need. See all that roasty garlic and potato coming up from the bottom there? It's going to make this perfect. Once I'm satisfied that I have my potatoes as smashed up as I'd like, I'll probably go in with about half of the water I reserved. It's a little bit easier to mix in a little bit at a time than to try to combine the whole thing, I find. So that's what I'm going to do. You just need to be patient with it. I'm about half mixed right now. Can already tell that I'm going to need a little bit more water. Okay, so that already looks better. That looks more mashed potato like. I think I'll add my water over here this time, and we'll just go with all of it. There's now about a pint or half a liter of potato water in there. It should be good. If I need anything else, I can use some milk, I can use some more butter. Now those are looking like the mashed potatoes that I want to eat. I'm going to put just enough salt in to taste it. A little bit of freshly ground black pepper. And I say just enough and a little bit, but when you're working with 5 pounds of potatoes, that ends up actually being a reasonable amount. Once I'm satisfied with the thickness, I can turn off my heat. I like to do this step out of the pan because there's still a lot of heat left in there. I'm just going to take a spoon of potatoes in with a couple egg yolks, mix up my egg yolks, and beat them into this potato, get them used to being a little warm, And that way I'm not going to make scrambled eggs in here. And I get a lot of people asking me about the freezing egg yolks video. Get a little more of that in there. About the freezing my egg yolks video. Asking me, I've been saving my egg yolks. What do I make with them? Well, you can do anything with them. Anything that you want to add richness to, and that you want to add body to, you can add those. So here's how to do it to mashed potatoes. I'm going to make a little well in the middle, and potato and egg mixture in there, and the rest is just sort of mixing it in. You want to do this after you've removed it from the heat. You do all of these steps so that you don't scramble your eggs. And at this point, when you can not really see anymore, you're kind of out of the danger zone. And now we just have to taste for seasoning. Oh man, this could use a little bit more salt, but I think that the rest of my seasoning is spot on. That garlic and potato just kind of roasted together beautifully, and then the rosemary just kind of comes in right at the end and just livens it up a little bit. None of it is too overpowering. You might want to make this with a little gravy, serve this with one of my chicken dishes that I prepared a couple weeks ago, or you can join me next week and I'm going to put this on a shepherd's pie.